So really quickly, if you go to module one, you'll see all the highlights, the videos of lectures, the extra readings, and every week all that information will come together with discussions, and very rarely, but sometimes quizzes as well. I think the best way to really get your ideas across is not a multiple choice question, but rather to think about it, let it marinate in your brain, and then to write them out in discussion forums. So there's this week. There's two different ones. The discussion group number two, using humanities through film, which highlights stuff from the lecture that I wrote, from the textbook reading. So if you and check that out, and for most points, bring in information, bring in examples from the lecture, from the readings, and then explain it as best you can. Some already the posts there that I've seen are doing a good job of that. But there's a two-part process. Most of the discussions are going to be due on Friday, and that means that you have 2 days. You'll have the weekend really to be able to go back online, check out your post, see if people comment on your post and respond to those. But more importantly, even is to respond to other people's posts, and not just say "What a wonderful job, nice post!" exclamation point, but get in there and get into some deep conversation as best as you can. So bring out what's maybe a quote of what they said, or an aspect that maybe you haven't heard of before, or a perspective. Sometimes there's open-ended type questions that are more, you'll get into some debate, especially when we get into movies and seeing it in different ways. So don't be afraid of not agreeing. That's okay. But how to do it in a critical, analytical, and respectful academic way is what we're going to be doing a lot. But then don't leave people hanging. If someone responds, respond back and read those and get into that discussion. We don't have a classroom. So by not having a classroom, this is our classroom. And the best interaction is the ones that you have in that small group. So get to know each other through your discussions of these posts. So make sure that you have examples both in your own post, but also when you respond to others in their posts as well. Now, the other part of that is week 13, not our first movie, but almost at the end of this term, you as a small group are going to have your own genre choice. And if you go into that, people are already talking about it, but by Friday, I need you as your small group to decide which one you're going with. If not, I'm gonna have to see what was talked about in your group the best I can and choose one for you. So it'd be better if you can choose it yourself. This is an opportunity for you as a group to really decide what you want to do. There's so many directions we could take it. So think about you'll be able to in that week 13, not next week by any means or the week after, but towards the end of the term, week 13, you'll be able to then choose within that genre what movie you're going to watch together for that week. So that's far down the road, but it's much easier to do it now so I can get material together for you when that time comes. But do that now. Do that by Friday. Think about really which one you want. Try to get your whole group to be behind it and the best that you can, and just come and make it fun, okay? So it's whichever one you want in that list, or the best that you can come up with. Even if you have a top 2 or 3, that's fine. But post that on your small group. Have it very clear. Have someone post, okay, this is what we've come up with, 1, 2, 3, or just one, or whatever it is, which choice that you want, top choice or top 2 choices or whatever. So then I could work with that. So that's due Friday. Your small group discussion number 2 is worth Friday. If you go into it really quickly, for those that have questions, if you'll see people already, I have 3 already posted. There are 3 questions. Consider 3 films you have watched in the last couple of years. That means you're going to have 3 examples, aren't you? You're going to have it very clear of how using how these reflect current trends and attitudes. We're going to use the word zeitgeist, the spirit of the age. So you're tying into what the spirit of the age is, how these films reflect current trends and concerns and attitudes. What do you think these movies might bring about this change, or how do you think these movies might bring about change that's happening with social change? But it could be anything. It could be a TV show even. If you want to go with a TV show, you can go with a TV show. Another aspect too that you're going to be looking at, number two, is the two phases. So if you look at my lecture it talks about the two phases that we're going to use, how to look at humanities like archaeologists and sort of unveiling information about how we record ourselves through film and the story that's told of human society. So how does it connect to specific interests you have in academics and hobbies, looking at those phases that are talked about there. And then number three is highlight one thing you found interesting in the reading, in the lecture, that maybe you haven't thought of before. And so maybe it's the way that we're going to look at film, or it's something in the reading that, or those posts about different film that caught your interest there. So there's a lot of pop culture that's in the posts this week. Because really that's what we're looking at here is pulp culture, and that's a way we record ourselves in society. So look at those. I'm excited to what you think about. This should be a very long post, really, with good information and concrete examples from the reading, from the lecture. And then the second part of that, of course, is to comment on others. So you have the weekend to do that. Pull out some examples, what they're saying, and that'll get you that full points. Okay, so have fun with this. This is 20 points. These add up at the end, so make sure you do them. And make sure, let me leave you with this, make sure to do it on a Word document first. I can't stress that enough. Canvas is notorious for losing people's work, so save it, and save it at least until you see that you've gotten a grade for it. Okay, so save it on a Word document, cut and paste it into the discussion forum, but save it, please. If anything else, that should be one thing to get out of this quick video. Thank you, have fun with this, and we'll talk next week.